Yes. It's amazing being here today, and we're about to start something that is going to change the narrative in the African context. And just like our vision is encapsulated in that statement, democratizing business education in Africa, we have started uh, the FEM Masterclasses, and today is the first edition of FEM Masterclasses. Um, the main idea is for us to have a discourse around how Africans can do well, progress, and prosper in entrepreneurship, business, and all related fields. Of course, FEM Institute is a finishing school for business people, entrepreneurs, leaders, and uh, top managers. So if you are someone who has a strong desire to be part of any of these that I've mentioned, you should consider enrolling in FEM Institute. So that's my way of saying welcome. Welcome to FEM Masterclass uh, March 2025 edition. Today we're going to be talking about the psychology of entrepreneurship, uh, the shifts in mindset that Africans should have if we must progress in entrepreneurship and business. We already have, we're already aware that this continent is grossly um, blessed. There's so much blessing on the African continent than we can imagine. But the utilization becomes the issue, and until people rises, things we continue to go worse. Until we begin to rise, things will continue to deteriorate. And that is what we are doing, to have conversations, meaningful conversations around how we can actually stand out in the market, in the business market, in the entrepreneurship market, and in the leadership market. It's funny what's happening in my country, and I believe it's not unique to my country. All the African countries are having issues. All the countries of Africa, we are having issues. We have our own peculiar challenges, especially when it has to do with leadership and entrepreneurship. I used to say that there are three powers that makes a person or a nation great. And until we be able to maximize the three powers that makes a nation great, we might not be able to progress. And these powers include the economic power, the political power, and the spiritual power. Any nation and any people who have large control of this set of powers will not find it difficult to navigate life and navigate their destinies. So today we are talking about one of these powers, which is what? The economic power, the business side of a nation, of nation building, and um, the business side of supporting our continent, Africa. All right. So this is me welcoming you to FEM Masterclasses. Today we have an amazing gentleman from Rwanda. He's going to be speaking to us. Of course, we've said this severally that this conversation is around the topic, the psychology of a winning entrepreneur, mindset shift for business growth. If our businesses must grow and if we must be able to stand side by side with other countries of the world, we must have that shift. All right. As an individual, a business person, someone who's running a small business, and it tends for your business to go far or to go to multinational, it starts from the mindset. And today, I trust the capability and the capacity of my brother Otis, who is going to be sharing his view on this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me read his profile. I think I have a lot here, but I'm going to do as much as possible to abridge this profile. Otis Tarwoe is a dynamic international speaker, author, policy and development analyst, project and small business management consultant, youth development professional, and leadership expert from Liberia, West Africa. He is the founder and the president of the Visionary School of Leadership and Development, the CEO of Tarwoe Global Consulting, and a certified I Change Nation World Civility Ambassador from the USA. Known for his powerful coaching method, Otis helps individuals and organizations reshape paradigms and build optimal culture for success. Otis holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Integrated Sustainable Rural Development with a focus on environmental policy. He is currently pursuing a Master's of Science in Environmental and Development Studies with a concentration in international development. As a certified black belt speaker and communication expert, and the first place winner of the 2021 Rwanda National Public Speaking Competition, Otis has authored 7 professional books on leadership, professional communication, personal development, and poverty alleviation. He has delivered keynote speeches in over 15 countries, including the USA, Canada, Rwanda, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, Tanzania, Nigeria, and Egypt. Through his global speaking program, Master the Mic with Tarwoe, Otis has trained and certified over 7,000 professional speakers from 13 countries, both physically and virtually. Oh my God, profile is plenty. Ladies and gentlemen, known as the Royal Speaker, Otis remains a champion of youth empowerment and leadership excellence. Through his innovative approach to leadership development and his passion for nurturing talent, Otis is not only educating but also igniting a movement of ethical, visionary leaders equipped to address Africa's challenge and foster sustainable development across the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with deep honor and sense of gratitude that I make welcome Otis Tarwoe for the FELM Masterclass. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, please jam your hands together and welcome our first FELM Masterclass speaker. We call them FELM speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up for our speaker. Welcome, Mr. Otis. It's amazing
This
having
is
you.
great. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come on this platform and give back to humanity. It's great. I'm watching you reading the profile, but however, it's good to be on the FAME platform. This is a very great initiative. I want to say thank you. You are doing phenomenal job across the continent of Africa. I mean, we young people deserve such a platform where we can share our thoughts and experience on entrepreneurship, giving the space to growth, innovation, and a major progress in Africa. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you for accepting to be here with us tonight.
Always, always, always.
All right, the stage is now yours.
Okay, thank you. So it's great to be on this platform, and today it is my honor to talk to you on something so phenomenal. When I was given this topic, I felt so amazing. Most especially when I observed the topic focuses on changing the mindset of young people in Africa and creating a space where we can be able to have a more independent and exceptional business growth trend. So today I'm going to be talking to you on the psychology of a winning entrepreneur. What is the psychology of a winning entrepreneur? When we talk about psychology of a winning entrepreneur, what does that simply mean? We're talking about mindset shift for business growth. Mindset shift for business growth. Now, according to the World Economic Forum, 85 million jobs might be displaced by AI in this 2025. Why 97 million new rule might emerge. Now, on the statistics given by the World Economic Forum, citing that 85 million jobs might be displaced due to the influence of AI, it brings us to the clear understanding and analysis that our market will be undergoing or is currently undergoing a massive transformation, right? Our market is undergoing a massive transformation. The entire industries are being reshaped and things will be disappearing. The AI and automations, replacing those normal routine will become a serious problem for us. But now the reality is those who fail to adapt will be left behind. With just this scenario I just gave you, if you fail to adapt to this reality, you will be left out. What do we do as young entrepreneurs and professionals who want to, get the win out there? We should be able to embrace change and continuous upskill ourselves. This is the reality. With the reality that we are seeing here, that that the statistic was given by the World Economic Forum, that 85 million jobs will be displaced by the use of artificial intelligence in 2025. While it is true that other jobs will be created, we should be able to upskill and embrace change that will help us. Now, let me give you this typical example. The blockbuster failed to adapt to a streaming, and this is the reason why Netflix seized the opportunity and dominated the entire streaming scenes. Blockbuster was one of the biggest around the world, we know, but they refused to adapt to the process of streaming because now everybody will want to go and use the normal way of watching the blockbuster. And Netflix came into the system because Netflix was willing to adapt to new change. Netflix was willing to embrace herself into a different space and spectrum where streaming can be the order of the day. And because of this adaptability, today Netflix is one of the world most streamed movies platform that people to go and watch. In our world today, that is, literally reshaped by technology and innovation, the greatest risk is not taking one. The future reward those who dare to reimagine it. As the world changes, we have to put ourselves in the capacity to rethink. We have to put ourselves in the capacity to embrace change. We have to put ourselves in the capacity to welcome a space of continuous learning, a space of adding value to ourselves. Because guess what? The day you stop learning is the day you become irrelevant. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying the day you stop learning, it is the day that you become irrelevant, because mystery is not a destination, it is a joining with our end. I hope you understand what I'm saying. This is the fire into the space. You have to understand that the day you stop learning, you become irrelevant, because knowledge is something that goes continuously. You need to continue to add value to yourself. And let me shock you. This is the new rules for relevance. Degree alone is not enough. Degree alone is not enough. As a young entrepreneur, you need to focus on skill. You need to focus on mindset. You need to focus on adaptability to stay relevant. As a new entrepreneur, focus, not just new entrepreneur. You can be emergent entrepreneur, you can be a professional, because the psychology of money or the psychology of winning as an entrepreneur will be heavily rely on your relevance. Let me say this to you. You cannot give what you don't have. Degree is not, kind of enough. You need to focus on your skill. You need to focus on your mindset. And this is the reason why today I'm not just going to be talking to you from the theoretical aspect, but I'm going to practicalize this conversation so that you can have the value that it takes to be a winning entrepreneur. So focus on skill, focus on mindset, focus on trying to adapt to new change, learn new technologies, develop emotional intelligence and creativity, build a growth mindset to stay relevant. Because guess what? It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one that is responsive to change. It is not the strongest of a species that survive, nor it is the most intelligent, but the ones that are responsive to change, the one that is willing to embrace change. Because the wind of change will never wait for you to adjust. You have to adapt now. You have to embrace change now. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the bridge between your dream and reality is actually built with a bricks of action. And this is what I say to more people. The bridge between your dream and your reality is built with a bricks of bridges. When I speak to people and they tell me, Otis, you inspire me, I feel excited. But then I ask them the next question: what do you do with this inspiration? Are you going to say, oh, I met a great young man who inspired me? And that was just, you need to use this inspiration and turn it into a practical action to give you direction for success. So I should not inspire you and you use this inspiration to sit. Use this inspiration to build your dream and take the necessary action. Now, success is 80% psychological and 20% mechanic. This was given by Tony Robbins, right? He said to be successful, it is 80% psychological and 20% mechanical. That is 80%, let's say 80% of what we do, of a stage that we want to build, it starts with our mindset psychologically. And the bottom 20% comes from the hard work or the smart work that we do. What makes you a winning entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneurship is not just about skills or resources. It's about the mindset. To be an entrepreneur, you need to have a whole different mindset. The difference between successful and struggling entrepreneurs lies in their psychology, lies in their way they think. So this is the reason why this presentation is going to explore key mindset shifts that will be required for business growth as we dive forward. So under this context, you need to understand that one of the most powerful weapons you can use as a young entrepreneur and to win is to use your mindset. And I call this the mindset advantage. This is the secret weapon of winning, of a winning entrepreneur. Mindset is the invisible force that drives decisions, actions, and results. Your mindset is not something that you see, but it is something like an invisible force that drives decisions, calculated decisions, invisible force that drives actions, invisible force that gives result. It's not about luck. It's not about resources or timing. It's about how you think. Your mindset is the lens through which you see opportunities, challenges, and growth. And this is why I like the famous quote from Henry Ford. He says, whatever you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Whatever you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Because you have the authority, you have the dominion, you have the privilege. And all of what I'm talking about lies in your mindset. So your mindset is not something ordinary. Today, I want to speak to you on the 5 pillars of a winning entrepreneur mindset. And this is a winning formula. What are the 5 pillars? The 5 pillars of a winning entrepreneur mindset. Number 1 is resilience. Resilience, turning failure into fuel. You need to be resilient as a leader. You need to be resilient as an entrepreneur. And when we talk about resilience, we are talking about a stage and a point in your life when everything is not working, but there is no option of giving up. Having the courage to stay strong, to turn that failure into success. That is you being resilient. Number 2, the second pillar of a winning entrepreneur mindset is vision. Excuse me. The second pillar of a winning entrepreneur mindset is vision, seeing the invisible and creating the impossible. Seeing the invisible and creating the impossible. And this is my favorite quote. Are you willing to do the things that others are not willing to do so that you can have the things that others won't have? Are you willing to expand your thoughts? The last master class I had, I was talking about the different dimensions of vision, the physical dimensions of vision, the mental dimensions of vision, and the spiritual dimensions of vision. Seeing the invisible. You are seeing things others are not seeing. The first pillar of a winning entrepreneurial mindset is you being resilient. The second pillar is you having a vision. I'm talking about unshakable vision. The third pillar is growth. Growth orientation. Learning faster than the competition. You need to grow. The fourth pillar is self-belief, that unshakable confidence to take risk. Because when we talk about entrepreneurship, we're talking about people who take risk, not just risk, but calculated risks. Excuse me, please. Calculated risk. I'm actually sorry. I'm back. Calculated risk. How do you take calculated risk? We're talking about self-belief. You need to believe in yourself because no one is going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. You need to be self-confident. People don't have to tell you, be confident, go, you can do it before you know you can do it. You need to have that self-belief. And the last pillar is action bias. Moving forward despite uncertainty. Moving forward, you need to take actions. You need to take action. Because resilience is the backbone of every great entrepreneur. People don't give up. That never gave us spirit. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he founded, but he returned stronger and revolutionized the tech industry today because he was resilient. He never gave up. Resilience is not about avoiding failure. Resilience is learning and growing from it. And this is the reason why I'm not afraid to compete or I'm not afraid to get into anything because the mindset that I have is kind of different. If I fail, I learn from my failure. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. It's not about how many times you have fall, but how many times you wake up and face that dream, that vision. That vision. And the compass of a winning entrepreneur is having a clear vision because a clear vision provides direction and purpose. A clear vision. And your vision is like developing to identify your why when you have a vision. And you trying to set smart goals. And when we talk about smart goals, we are talking about the SMART. Your goals should be specific. Your goals should be measurable. Your goals should be accurate. Your goals should be realistic. And your goals should have a time bound. SMART. You should be able to visualize success. When I started Tarwoe Global Consulting, I personally know to myself, someone asked me why you use the name Tarwoe Global. And I said to him, my vision for Tarwoe Global is taking Tarwoe Global. Yeah, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I envision Tarwoe Global as a consulting company that will take the global landscape, that will shift the paradigm of consulting, not just for the local level, but on the international level. It's not about now. But this is what I envision, and I'm working towards it. And I say to people, the worst thing in life is not death, but the worst thing in life is living without purpose and vision. So your compass as an entrepreneur is having a clear, smart vision. Vision that is unshakable. And I want to share with you something so exceptional today. And this bomb share is called the secret formula to business growth. The secret formula to business growth. The secret formula to business growth. It's a formula. And that formula is who? Who's your market? To have a substantial business growth, you need to identify who are your market. Define your market. You can't sell to everyone. Who is your market? Identify your ideal customers. Look at the demographics, the age, who are you going to be selling to? The gender, the location of your business, the income level. If you look at the Nike, there's a shoe that we normally use, the Nike something. I mean, Nike doesn't sell to everyone. They sell to athletes, right? Those who they inspire to be. That's what Nike does. They sell to people. I mean, those footballers, you see those shoes, the people. So they know their market, their target audience. Find your audience. When you know your market, you find your audience. Go where your audience, already is. Map up their habits, their hangouts. Can you find your audience on social media, forums, blogs? Where can you find your audience? Do you find your audience in the community? Do you find your audience from a physical destination? If you are selling skincare, you go on Instagram. What do you do? And another thing is called the bats. Craft your hook. Your bats as an entrepreneur should be irresistible. You have to create a value pack that offers a solution to people problem, because most entrepreneurs today, they just want to come into the business because of business sake. But as an entrepreneur, you should be able to identify problems to solve. And when you identify problems to solve, then you get into a space that you become irresistible. People can resist you because you have the solution to that problem. So while you have the solution to that problem, you have to create a hope. And that is that hope people are going to know you by. Free trial, for example, limited time discount. I'm actually coming off a 30-day masterclass on professional public speaking. This is my hope. I train you for 30 days as a professional speaker. If you can't overcome the failure, I return your money back. It becomes irresistible. Result. Lead them to the destination that they want to get. Your customer need to know where you're taking them. Define the end result of your product or service that you offer. What transformation will they experience? How will their life or business improve based on the services or products that you gave them? Apple doesn't sell phones. They sell lifestyle. They sell innovation. Simplicity. If you use the iPhone, people feel you. I mean, once they see the 3 camera, you live a good lifestyle. You know. So this is innovation. What is the destination of your business? The end result. And this is why my mentor say, result cancel insult. Nobody, and let me give you this information today. The greatest thing in life is not time. The greatest thing in life is not time. It's not what you think it is. The greatest thing in life is winning. Everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody wants to be a winner today in our generation. Nobody cares about whatever. The greatest thing is not money. The greatest thing is winning. Because when you win, you have time. When you win, you have money. I mean, when you win, you can buy time with money. So winning is everything right now. The result is everything in your business. Business growth is not about luck, it's about strategy. Know your who, find your where, craft your bid, and lead them to get the necessary result. Today, I also want to share something very great with you. Excuse me, guys. I'm not really well. Sorry for the poor quality of my voice. I'm going to be talking about the 5 steps to a winning entrepreneur. To be a winning entrepreneur with that exceptional mindset that we're talking about here today. We're talking about the psychology of a winning entrepreneur. What is that mindset, the psychology of a winning entrepreneur? To be an entrepreneur, today I want to share with you 5 great steps. The first step to becoming a winning entrepreneur is to build yourself. Start with self-mastery. Develop a growth mindset. Cultivate resilience, discipline, emotional intelligence. To be a winning entrepreneur, you need to build your mindset. I agree, but building yourself is cardinal because you cannot give what you don't have. So you build yourself. After you build yourself, the next step to becoming a winning entrepreneur is to build your career. Lay the foundation for your entrepreneurial journey. Gain different skills and ideas and experience and industrial knowledge. Build a network and learn from mentors. That is the second step. The third step is to build your product. What is the problem you want to solve? Create something valuable. Identify a problem, design a solution, and push it out there. Focus on innovation and customer needs. The 4 steps to becoming a winning entrepreneur is building your business. Now you turn those products into sustainable venture. You develop a business model, come up with your brand, have your strategic positioning, your marketing ideas and strategy. You focus on scalability and profitability. How do you scale your business and how do you gain profit as an entrepreneur? And after that, the last time is to be the CEO. Lead with vision, lead with purpose, make strategic decisions, inspire your team, drive growth, embrace the responsibility of leadership. Then, of course, you come into the place where we can call you, a winning entrepreneur. What is that growth mindset we've been talking about today? Your competitive advantage. Now, we have growth mindset and we have fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is, I can't do this. Right? You have a fixed mindset. But a growth mindset, you say, I can't do this yet. That's the distinction. I say, I can't do this. I have a fixed mindset that I can't do it. You give your brain reasons to say you can't do it. But if you have a growth mindset, I can't do this yet. That is, there is a possibility that you can do it. Always be willing to learn. Entrepreneurs with a growth mindset will learn, will outthink, will outperform in getting a very, very positive and competitive space for growth. Right? Spend time reading books, learning from podcast mentors, if you want to be a very great entrepreneur. The role of self-belief in entrepreneurship. Confidence is the foundation of decision making and risk taking. How do you build self-belief? Celebrate your small wins. Focus on your strength. Practice positive affirmations. These are things that help you as an entrepreneur. Be the one to say, I can do it. Not every time people will come, we trust you, you can do it. Not all of the time people will motivate you. Be yourself motivator. As an entrepreneur, there is a hidden driver of success. And that driver is called emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is very critical for leadership. Emotional intelligence is critical for you as an entrepreneur, for team building. Emotional intelligence is very important for customer relationship. Emotional intelligence is a stage where you become self-aware, you have empathy, and you have relationship management. A lot of us entrepreneurs are not succeeding in our business because we don't have emotional intelligence. We don't have that hidden driver of success to have the substantial conversation that pulls people over. You don't have good customer relationship. You don't listen to what the customer wants. Your emotional intelligence is the ceiling for your success. How do you manage stress effectively? How do you practically listen to people? I mean, being so active. Emotional intelligence is very important. When you have emotional intelligence, then you become adaptable to things. Adaptability. Because listen, the only constant change in business is change. The only constant change in business is change. Change, being able to embrace new things, new ideas, right? This is something very important, and we have to take that into consideration. So, after we have understood the level of emotional intelligence, we get to build a team. The psychology of team building under the context of a winning entrepreneur. Great entrepreneurs build great teams. You can't do that alone, right? You need a team that is very effective. And I always tell people you need to hire people you can fire. Do not hire people you can't fire. This is the problem of entrepreneurship today. You are a young entrepreneur, you have your business, you take your wife and bring her to the business, for example. You know you can't fire your wife. You take your uncle's son and bring him to the business. So, as an entrepreneur, to have a winning mindset, you have to hire people you can fire. Don't hire people you can't fire. How many people, how many young entrepreneurs can look at their wealth and say, I fire you from my business today? That's said through divorce and other stuff. Or it takes certain level. But as a young entrepreneur, do not make a mistake by hiring people you can't fire. Hire for mindset and skills. But then, under this context, you have to hire for mindset over skills. What do I mean? Bring people to the business who have a whole different mindset, who take the business as their own, while skill is also important. Because if you get people who have the skills and they don't have the love or passion for what they are doing, it becomes another problem. Foster a culture of trust, foster a culture of collaboration, ownership. That's the kind of team you want to have. A team that can be trusted, a team that see the business under the context of immune collaboration, a team that take ownership of the business. If you have such a very sustainable team, then of course you can win. So teamwork makes the dream work. I want to say thank you so much for giving me the station opportunity. I'm going to stop here tonight. It was so amazing. I just wanted to share something so great with my people here, and I hope the conversation was great. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Otis. It's been phenomenal, right? Um, uh, Personally, my notebook is filled up to the brim. I have a lot. It's just like we are taking a degree in 1 hour. If I say that this is a degree program in 1 hour, we uh, won't be saying lies, because you actually had to point out it's not just a degree, an MBA in 1 hour. You just had to.
This is great. Thank you.
You had a way of combining almost everything. Sincerely, I think this is what the young people in Africa needs to begin to hear. All right, and what we are building is a structure that is going to take this message and this news across the African continent and get young people to begin to see that way. Right, that way. There's a way. I don't know if this is the same in Rwanda or in Liberia, but there's a way young people are seeing entrepreneurship, and most people don't even have that self-confidence and self-belief that you've already spoken about to sell themselves. And that is why it's difficult in Africa. Entrepreneurship is difficult. Because when we look at the people who are there already, and you feel like, is it this person I want to start competing with? I want to get into the this particular business and look at the giants that are already here. Should I be competing with these guys? And then the person just relapses and he looks for a job and begins to manage life. And by the time he comes to his senses, he has already spent a whole lot of time, and those times are not regainable. So these are the things we are going to be pushing out around the African continent. And I believe that the funding to do all this will be made available and will come. It's an African agenda, right? It's something that we want to get young people to start employing others. The rate of unemployment is becoming hard, and people begins to complain after getting all the degrees. Of course, you've said that degree is not enough. This time around, even the so-called PhD is not enough, because the world is moving so fast. It's moving so fast that people who are not contributors, people who are not contributing, are going to be left behind. So the world is moving in such a direction that only the contributors would be favored, right? Only the contributors will be favored. Some people would say, people are going to lose their job, things are going to do. But we see on a different light. We see opportunities. But these opportunities are for people who wants to do hard things. It is not just for everybody. It's people who are willing and ready to do hard things. Just to practice everything you have taught us in about 40 minutes is not easy. It has to do with a lot of self-denial, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of refusing to be in the parties you are ought to be, a lot of refusing to chat when you want to chat, a lot of sitting and waking up, sitting down on one place for hours, working on the project. It demands a lot of sleepless nights. And people who are going to climb to the top are first hard workers before smart work. All right. Of course, I believe in these two. You will work smart and work hard, two of them. But my analogy is that there's no how you can work smart in something that you have not worked hard in. So you must have spent time, years, efforts, gone through the process, lean on the wings of mentors to understand how these things work and to understand what is really smart work in this. So people will come wake up and out of the blue moon they say, work smart, don't work hard. Work smart, don't work hard. But you learn the act of smart working by working hard, by giving in so much time and energy to know what is not working and what is working. When you're able to get what is working and be able to consistently act on what is working, that is what we'll call smart work. All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Otis. It's been amazing. I have a note filled up here. You started from giving us the five pillars of the winning mindset for entrepreneurs, which is resilience, vision, um, orientation, self-confidence, and all that. And then you also gave us 5 steps to winning entrepreneurship, which has to do with building. Of course, you see, that's building of the man. My former boss would always say, feed the body that makes the money. So you, for anybody to win, for any enterprise to win, there must be a building, a structured, intentional building around those people who are making things to work. It calls for a lot of investment in trainings, a lot of sacrifices in sitting down to lean and learn what is obtainable in the industry and following what is working, right? We work in a dispensation where AI and Internet of Things is the in thing now, where You don't have to do so much, but you to know so much in order to achieve results. And people are crying foul and saying, oh God, people are going to lose job. No, these are opportunities. The earlier you begin to learn it, the better for you. People who did Bitcoin several years ago are into real money now because they took it as a challenge instead of as a problem. All right. So thank you so much. This is well noted. I believe that our audience who are watching and several of them who are going to go through this content because our team is going to do a lot of work on this content and we'll begin to distribute them. All right. I believe that most of them who are going to get to see this content are going to also learn and act on them. All right.
Sure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So before you go, I have a question. I think it would be very important that we'll talk about.
Okay.
Um, what role do you think the African entrepreneurs play in the economic growth of the continent, and how is this winning mindset going to aid these entrepreneurs or the African entrepreneurs to make Africa a giant continent? I don't know if you got that
Say
clearly.
that you here you was kind of low. What role? You were
Hmm?
saying something. You said what
So
role?
yes, I said, what role do you think the African entrepreneurs play in the growth of the economy, the continental economy, and what how is this winning mindset that we're talking about going
Okay,
to
so
help
so
these
so let me. I
entrepreneurs?
got your question. Yeah. So normally, what I think is that in Liberia of recent, I was there. We had a conversation in on the state radio. I was talking about the importance of entrepreneurship, the importance of the government trying to open the private sector. And if you open the private sector, then we're looking at the role entrepreneurship play in terms of, of progress and contributing to the economy. The first benefit of entrepreneurship in terms of building the economy is creating substantial jobs. For example, you just make a very clear statement here. If I'm an entrepreneur and I get to Liberia, I have a consulting company, not just consulting, but I'm able to have a product, I will get 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15% being employed. I am playing a serious role into the employment process. So if a government can be able to support the private sector with the necessary resources without being biased, then of course you have more young people who have substantial business idea. In Rwanda, we organized the Emerge Hall International Business and Leadership Conference. If you get to the
Yeah,
Emerge
that
Hall
conference
Business,
I should come to very soon.
yeah, that conference, you have a lot of young entrepreneurs for different countries with substantial business idea. But guess what? They are lacking startup capital. They don't have startup capital. So if government can venture and support the private sector where young entrepreneurs can be able to come up with some great ideas, and guess what? You will have one person employing 5, 10, 15, 20 persons. So if a single business can employ 20 persons, I want you to think about a government supporting over 500,000 young people, most especially countries like Nigeria where you have more population. So, entrepreneurship play a very, very substantial role into the growth and development of every country. With the exception of job employment, we have another one called the ROR, not just the return on investment that people get, but the tax paying. So
Yeah.
every single individual pay taxes to government. So if, for instance, I have like 20% who work on a Tower Global Consulting, and these 20 people I'm paying them, these people are paying taxes to the government, and then the government is also going to have more revenue. So it play a
Mhm,
very substantial role into, the development process and the economic upliftment of the country. It make people
mhm,
self-independent. Today in our country and major countries in Africa, people are behind politicians. These people are jobless. I just watched a video yesterday. There's a guy in Liberia called Zolik. He opened a stage where he want to employ Liberians. I was seeing the video. Okay, okay, trust me. I saw hundreds of potential Liberian young people. I was like, are you joking? So it tells you that young people are jobless. They are sitting home doing nothing. Let the government invest into the private sector, and then the role of entrepreneurship will be a major boost, not just to the public sector, but the private sector. And when you invest into the private sector, now this is the benefit of entrepreneurship. It boosts self-independence, it boosts productivity, it boosts economic development, it boosts, potential workforce, not people who turn in our country we call them Zogo, disability, people, the disabled youth. So entrepreneurship is very substantial when it comes to building economic growth and sustainability in Africa. It plays so many roles, not just employment, but it helps government in terms of revenue generation. It helps the private sector when it comes to growth. It helps with a lot of great things that help change the perspective of our African setting today.
Oh yeah,
And that's
thank
what
you
happened
so
in
much.
Rwanda. You see Rwanda?
Mm,
Rwanda right
mm,
now, I have a lot of young people. Monday, I'm checking at there's a place here called Norskin.
mm.
Norskin seems to be Africa's biggest entrepreneurship hub. If you get to
Oh,
Norskin, you'll see a lot of young people in the space of innovation. The tech space, I mean, entrepreneurship is everything. Trust me, okay?
mm.
Entrepreneurship is everything, brother. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so it's very clear that everybody has a role to play if the African continent must rise. And it's unfortunate that the government is not doing as much as they should do, because I feel that the government across African continent, African countries, are doing what we call weaponization of poverty, where they as this the plan and all their action intentionally and unconsciously are detailed around keeping the people down because of political reasons. You get I when you came to Nigeria, some I think earlier this month, I told you I'm in the northern Nigeria, and I've seen a lot. You see, where you have population and majority of this population are kept down, and they're putting millions, billions, uh, and trillions of dollars on things that are not very relevant. I feel if the government cannot really do all these things, it's also time for entrepreneurs who are successful to begin to do something. Um, and even the younger ones should also begin to come together, because one thing about growth in every area of life is partnership. When people come together to pool resources together and achieve one set goal, it tends to move faster than when we're working on individual basis. I think you said that if you want to go alone, if you want to go fast, uh, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people who have sense. I'm going to be having a lot of teachings in the coming month, and it's going to be unconventional. I want to get into that unconventional teachings, because we have believed a lot of things that are very wrong, fundamentally wrong, if we sit down to analyze and reason them. There are statements that I think they are called aphorism or something, that we believe, like, because everybody says it, it sounds good, it sounds nice, we believe it. So thank you so much, Mr. Otis. It's been amazing having you here, and I am sure that we're going to have a lot to do with you
A lot together, sure.
across the African continent. FEM Institute is um, an African mandate first before it goes global. And as it stands now, we are having a lot of um, up and down to put structures across all the African continent. And we'll work with you um, very, very often. Thank you so much. We are grateful for having you as our first firm speakers. One thing that I have said severally, and I stand on it, is that in a couple of years' time, Does that statement firm speakers, firm speaker? I have been a firm speaker somewhere. It's going to open door for a lot of people. Just like what we have TEDx speakers, TEDx speaker. That's what we're building. That we'll have firm masterclasses and firm discourses all across the universities around the African continent. Thank you so much, Mr. Otis. It's been an amazing time. And I'm sure
Sure.
our audience enjoyed your session. And the people
Okay.
who are going to watch it after now, uh, I'm sure they're going to send in their reports, their
Yeah.
experiences, and it's going to be
It was
worth
great
the
being
time.
here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, brother.
Thank you so much. This is one of the most amazing spent. So, thank you guys for staying through. It's been an amazing time, and we are going off now. If you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe. We are bringing value upon value, and you're going to enjoy it. We are going to be launching our um, courses very soon, and the good news is that we are starting with free courses. And the first course we are already developing over 50% on is on innovation, how you can innovate your way in business, especially being a person of African descent, right? So updates are going to be coming on YouTube, on all our social media platforms. Get ready. It's about to go down. Thanks to everyone. I want to appreciate the board of directors for giving me the opportunity to anchor this meeting. God bless you all. And I do not take it for granted. Thank you for all the work you put into make FEM Masterclass worth it. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your night.